Hey everybody, today the Crosstalk team is on site and we are doing a unique install that's solving a problem for one of our customers. So we hope you come along for the ride. Let's get right into it. So we're down here in Southern California at this little office park, and our customer is a catering company. And in this office park, they have the office right behind me, and then they've got a second office that's about 6 offices down that way. Currently, they are paying for 2 internet connections, one at each side, and they're just like Verizon, 5G internet connections. They've been getting about 40 to 60 megabits, but they are paying for 2 of them.
On top of having to pay for 2 separate 5G internet connections, Verizon just dumped their equipment right in the middle of the building, surrounded by all of the wireless blocking equipment that you'd expect in a catering kitchen, like stainless steel ovens and refrigerators and hood vents. The whole place is basically a Faraday cage. Our customer wanted to not only consolidate their 2 offices into a single bill, but they also wanted to improve their internet speeds.
They talked to the local Charter Spectrum representative, and they came out and basically said that they can give them a hardwired connection at each side, but again, they'd have to pay separately, and it was going to cost them well over $150. And that was only the promotional price for the first year, after which the Spectrum rep said, oh, well, you can just call back in after a year and then, renegotiate your price for, whatever the promotions are at that time. So that's kind of a pain in the butt.
So this is where we stepped in to create a solution that actually works for the customer. We need to consolidate their internet bill and increase their bandwidth while also allowing for some future expansion. Here at Crosstalk, no matter how simple the deployment scenario may seem, we always try to put a lot of thought into what the best solution looks like, and this install is no different. Here's what we came up with to solve all of their problems. First off, they are in an area that has a strong 5G cellular signal. So we're going to ditch the home internet with a real business class Crosstalk mobile 5G unlimited SIM, and we're popping that into a Peplink Max BR1 Pro 5G.
They have no hardwired clients at all. It's all wireless. So this is going to be a super simple installation. And by the end, they will have one bill for 5G internet service that's going to get them much faster speeds than what they're getting on their Verizon home internet now. And they will be working with much more robust and solid equipment. All right, so here we have the Peplink Max BR1 Pro 5G. Now, the cool thing about this is this entire enclosure that it's sitting in here is the antenna. Right, and it's fully IP67 weatherproof. This is going to sit up on the roof, and so there's really no distance between the actual router and the antenna. So this enclosure that it's inside is the antenna max, and basically we just have a magnetic mount on the bottom that is very powerful. And we'll just connect it up to one of the pieces of equipment up on the roof, and it will not come off.
This setup gives us a bunch of advantages. First off, the Peplink Max BR1 Pro 5G can be powered up with PoE++, meaning that we only have to run a single cable up to the roof. And now that the cellular antenna is going to live on the roof, we don't have to deal with any kitchen equipment blocking our signal. This also gives us a straight shot across the roof for an outdoor rated Cat6 cable over to the second unit. Now, we only had a day on site to get this done, and while it looks like a simple install, of course it still takes a bunch of manpower to string cables around any office environment. One of our first design obstacles was to find an inexpensive switch that had PoE++ to power up the Peplink Max BR1, but also additional ports for the interior access points. And I was pleasantly surprised when I found one for about $75 that met our needs perfectly.
All right, so here's the switch that we're using. This is a TP-Link Omada unmanaged switch. It is the DS106 GPP. And the reason that I like this switch a lot, first of all, it's simple and easy because it's unmanaged, but you've got 3 PoE+ ports and then 1 PoE++ port. So the antenna on the roof, the router plus antenna on the roof, can be powered up by this PoE++ right here. And then we've got extra spots to power up access points internally. But this is a really cool little switch. It's just a gigabit unmanaged TP-Link Omada switch, 2 gigabit ports here, PoE++, and then 1, 2, 3 ports that are PoE+. And inside the main office here, we are going with the TP-Link EAP772. This is a Wi-Fi 7 4x4 MIMO access point. Really, really powerful. And we'll get to the speed test results in just a bit. And don't mind the wiring. It's not my most beautiful wiring job, but I asked about that. They've got crazy wires going everywhere in here. I said, how beautiful do you want the wiring? He said, I don't even care. Adopting these access points into Omada is dead simple, even without an on-site controller. You simply scan the QR code on the back of the access point in the Omada app, and you're done. They adopt and update automatically, and then you can configure the settings from anywhere in the world. Now, while I was mounting equipment inside, Dave volunteered to head up onto the roof.
This skylight over here behind me is the main office. Remember, we have 2 office locations separated by this pretty long run. That location has a cable coming up through the skylight, and we got our Peplink rig all set up here. So this cable here goes down to the main office where we got the TP-Link switch that's powering this guy. And then we got this second cable that runs the whole length way down there, and it goes in the other skylight so we can provide internet connectivity to the second location.
So here's the other side. This is their kitchen, and as you can see, we've got that cable coming in through one of the vents in the skylight. Those are actually just like airflow vents that are always open. So there's no chance of cutting the cable or anything. And then luckily, I found up in here in the above the drop ceiling a spare power outlet right here. So that actually worked out perfectly because we're going to be able to completely hide all of the equipment on this side. So we've got the power outlet, we've got a PoE injector, and then we're going to put the access point right on the wall right here. Now this PoE injector, notice it's a TrendNet and not a TP-Link. That's because we didn't realize that these access points didn't have them, and so we didn't bring a PoE injector. Luckily, there was a local computer shop that sold us this one for 30 bucks, and so that saved the day. All right, interesting side note, I noticed this while I was here doing work. Up on top of the roof over here is a Ubiquiti access point, and then if we swing around, we can see its sort of partner access point across the parking lot here. So that is doing a point-to-point across the parking lot, which is what you would want to do, except that these are the U7 Pro outdoor access points, the one that have the little RPSMA connectors up on top that you can put on the rabbit ears so that they're omnidirectional. These are not a point-to-point access point, so I'm sure they're just doing mesh across the parking lot, which, you know, at these distances probably works perfectly fine, given that it's clear line of sight and you're just going about maybe 60 or 70 feet, but not the access points that I would have used to do it. And this one up here, when we were up on the roof, I took a look at it, and they have the RPSMAs actually exposed to the elements. They don't have the little caps on top of them, so I'm not sure how that's going to hold up in the weather.
With all the equipment mounted, wired up, and adopted, it was time to test it out, and we were pretty happy with the results. When we first showed up, this business had 2 separate Verizon 5G home internet connections that were giving them about 40 megabits per second because the placement of those connections was not ideal. Now, after we were done, they had a single local area network for both offices, a single shared 5G internet connection, and internet speeds consistently in the mid 300 megabit range, about 8 times faster than what they had previously.
All right, so there we have it, a quick and easy install here in Southern California at this catering company. Dave, of course, did the bulk of the work and went up on the roof many more times than I did. Dave, how'd you like it up on the roof?
It was pretty good. I did wish that I brought some more sunscreen.
Yeah, it's very hot out here today. Actually, it's not that hot. It's about 75 degrees. But when you're up on the roof and it's got that white paint all over it, it's just throwing all that heat right up in your face. So it is not super fun. Thank you for doing that.
Anytime.
So now this customer has 1 internet connection for both of their locations. They no longer have to pay for 2 internet connections. And when they were getting 40 to 60 megabits with their Verizon home internet 5G, now they are getting over 300 megabits per second with our Crosstalk Mobile Unlimited SIM. And we've seen it even better in some areas, up to 700 megabits.
Yeah, absolutely. Pasadena is getting over 700 megabits.
So these things are awesome. If you guys would like a Crosstalk Mobile SIM yourself, all the information will be down in the details. And of course, if you want this level of network design, you can always contact Crosstalk Solutions, and we're happy to help you out. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.